What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host Mike, and I apologize for the lack of uploads. I am a little sick right now, but I do want to get this out for you. This video will cover the 7 most important things to do after your draft to ensure you start the season off strong. Before we jump in, make sure you like the video, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and follow us on Twitter at fantasy_puck. For those looking to gain access to our premium tools, including up-to-date projections, our in-season trade analyzer, and more, or if you want to just support the channel, head over to our Patreon. Without further ado, here are 7 things to do after your draft. The first thing you want to do immediately after your draft is add 1 to 2 players and place them on your IR spot, assuming your league has them. There are a few relevant players that are starting the season off injured and may not have been drafted. These players may include Brock Besser, Charlie McAvoy, Brad Marchand, Tom Wilson, and Anthony Duclair, to name a few. Now, some of these players may have been drafted, but if they are available to add, you should definitely look at doing so. Similarly, if you drafted injured players, make sure you quickly toss them on your IR and add some of those sleepers you still had queued up at the end of your draft. You want to play the long game in fantasy, and this is a perfect way to get ahead. Secondly, make a list of buy low trade candidates in the early going, and if they struggle in the first few weeks, make a move to acquire them. It's hard to say who will struggle early, but some players I would suggest to look at is Jack Eichel, Braden Point, Dougie Hamilton, Rasmus Dahlin, and Jake Ottinger. Some of these players are more risky, especially Eichel and Point, and may start off slow, while Dougie and Dahlin are top-end defensemen whose team in front of them may struggle in the early going, which in turn will hurt their points early on. If you just missed some players in your draft that you really wanted, keep a close eye on them. If they struggle early, you should make a move to trade for them. The third thing I would do is head over to Daily Faceoff or Left Wing Lock and take a peek at the upcoming schedule. Note any back-to-back games, or if a team has a long road trip where you can pick up the backup goalie for a streamer start. Additionally, I look at what team plays on the off nights and make a list of streamers you want to add to ensure you're maximizing the amount of games played for the week. We will be posting videos to keep you covered here, but it's important that you do take a few minutes each week yourself to do it in case we don't upload on time. I would then make a list of some sell-high players you drafted. Now, some of these players you may be a bit more skeptical on when drafting, and you think you can get pretty good value out of if they start off hot. Again, it's really hard to pinpoint who these players may be, but some ideas could include Clayton Keller, Cole Caulfield, Arturi Lehkonen, Andrei Kuzmenko, and Anton Forsberg. My rationale for these players is that they're filling in for injured players or are on non-competitive teams which may falter their value down the road. Again, there's a bunch of players injured right now and players that will be filling in a top 6 role. If they do start off hot, you could look to trade them. If their player returns, then their value is going to go down. Once you've completed the previous 4 steps, hop on Twitter or make one if you don't have one and follow 2 to 3 reliable fantasy sources that can keep you up to date with the status of your players and any major line changes. Personally, I love at FHFH Lines for up-to-date line combinations, at Puck Report NHL for any major news or injury news, and obviously at fantasy_puck. You knew I had to plug that. You then want to use these sources to keep yourself updated on players who are injured and are recovering. If you notice that someone's on track to return or ahead of schedule, look to buy low on these guys. Similarly, if you're stashing someone and notice some significant setbacks, you can look to drop them or try and move them if possible. Lastly, guys, and this is a fun one, know your league mates, their biases, and leverage this to make trades. Personally, I play in leagues with a ton of diehard Leafs fans who would love to trade me Roman Josi for my Morgan Rielly if Rielly starts the season off with 10 points in 7 games. This is super easy to do and ultimately can win you your leagues. I know a lot of people in the past have hated Brad Marchand, and he's a fantasy beast, and you could potentially leverage that to buy low on him. There are a ton of examples for this, but don't let your bias get in the way of winning, but let your league make biases do. Thank you for watching the 7 things to do after you draft video. Hopefully by next week I'm a little bit more healthy and can be pumping out the content as we did in the preseason. But as always, thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you all in the next one.